Hello everyone, Derek Diablo here, Del Boy Diablo. I'm known as the greatest Anglophile, the top Anglophile in all of the Americas. Top expert and aficionado in British culture, as it were. Now then, majority of my videos are comedic for people who follow the channel, but this one is serious, dead serious. And it's addressed to a group that I have respect for, a very serious group. And this is not a banter video, this is not comedy. For me, the football hooliganism has a madcap sort of comedic element to it that's best portrayed in the Football Factory, which kind of laid the groundwork for what I do, bringing the comedy into it, right? But a British group of people I've talked about before, I haven't gone into, I've been around quite a bit, I know quite a lot about. Talking about the traveler community. Travelers could also be called British gypsies, or called gypsies. Where you want to stop is you want to stop before you go further and use the term pikey or gyppo. Now, I didn't know that from the snatches how most of Americans got introduced to that culture, right? And let's have it right. It's a racist portrayal. Then that begs the whole question of what is race. It's obviously a social construct. It's not scientific. It's actually misinformation, actually race. It's not scientific. But if there are such things, there's definitely ethnic groups and nationalities. So then this is a bigger question. And I'll turn it over in the comments, but for all those who normally watch my videos and play around in the comments, and I don't mind it with me. You know what I mean? But this is not a group of people to be joked about or talked about lightly. That's the way I feel about it. Now, what do other people think about them, other British? So that's a question. Are they white? Then the origins of it, I've been around gypsies here in America. They're different. They're Romani, right? Roma. I don't know so much about them. In both instances, they stick to their own people, don't they? When they travel, they're nomadic type of people. I believe it comes from Egypt, where that gyp word comes from. Hence, with fortune telling and so forth. But these British gypsies, I don't see that they be fortune telling as such. And apparently they don't have the same racial or ethnic origin. But I have had lads who identify as traveling people and also tell me that they're Romani or the Roma, they're like that kind of gypsy. So then brings that other question. Are you really a gypsy? Are you really a traveler if you have a house? I'll leave it for everybody out there to discuss, but from what I know, it's like they represent the gypsy culture, they represent the traveler culture, the horses and the dogs and the chickens and so forth. But people call them gauchers. They're settled, so they have houses and everything like that. And then they, in English lads terms, they say they hang out with us, meaning to say that these mixed, or they're maybe not mixed, maybe they are mixed ethnically, like they're married in with regular English or wherever it might be, Irish, Scottish. So I'm no expert in this culture. I know the guys I've hung out with and been around are from this particular sort of designation, gaucher, settled people, but they are gypsies still. They are like these people are ruthless, and these people are dangerous. They're not to be played with. They're feared and respected, even if it's like racist. They talk about them behind their back, and they call them jippos and they call them pikeys behind their back, but they really won't say it in their faces, and they fear them for sure. You don't mess with those people. Now, how I first seen it, how a lot of Americans seen it, you might have seen Snatch. And I knew when I was watching Snatch, I'm like, man, this is like a racist portrayal of an ethnic group. That's the way I looked at it. They make them look like scum, something like that, right? So I stuck with that in my head. And then I came across many years ago, a long time ago, the early 2000s, whenever it was, I came across a documentary called KNUCKLE. I'll link that one below. You should watch that if you don't know about these people. KNUCKLE, basically, from my recollection of it, is somebody, Ireland or wherever they are, somewhere in British area, one of the Britannia, and basically that some guy was hired to film a traveler gypsy wedding, and he did so. And then in between, the main man is bigger guy, like a Tyson Fury type, maybe not that big, but he has a kind of appeal. And the film centers around him in that, in between whatever they have their wedding, and then they're outside having some drinks, and the men are going to go have these family fights. I'll get into that in a second. And bare knuckle fight, between the different factions of the family. And this guy went along with them, he filmed it, he ended up filming them for like 12 years. And he made a documentary about it, it's called Knuckle. And when I saw that, I saw the people themselves. These weren't actors. And I respected their culture, I respected their community, I thought they're honorable people. You know what I mean? It's people like us from outlaw cultures, whether it's ethnic, typically it's more social. But we come from outlaw cultures, and people look at us as scum, and people look at us as the other, or whatever it is like that. But, just like in a gang world, whether it's skinhead gangs, street gangs, motorcycle clubs, football hooligan firms, there's honorable people in it. Not everybody, and that goes for humanity. Police, priesthood, churches, and like it's all solid people. But there are people that are good, that abide by the principles as they should. And then it's up to each culture to self-regulate. So then what these guys do is, their way of life I respect a lot. They're the toughest, pretty much, of all the white cultures. I don't want to say it like that. I'll let you say it. But as a gypsy, as what I know about now, the real traveling families, which I have some connection with. I want to go to the campsite. English people tell me, no, don't ever go there. They'll kill you. They'll cut you up. They're definitely scared to go, but they're looked at differently. Maybe I'll be embraced. I don't know. What they say is you got to be able to fight. You have to be able to shadow box. You got to be able to sing, and you got to be able to drink to hang out with them at the campsite. And I can do those things. So basically, if you have a family, the McSo-and-sos, and then the McSo-and-sos, they're all ultimately cousins, because then it has to do with their marriage practices. I'll leave that for somebody else to discuss. So then, they're all ultimately cousins. But they have these family clan rivalries with each other. And basically, from what I know about it, it's like you'll have this family, this many months out of the year, they're here. This many months out of the year, they're in Spain. This many months out of the year, they're here. They travel, right? So, basically, if they're at their campsite and the other family comes, I says, yeah, all right. We got four boys. We got 3 chickens. We got 2 dogs. And they're gonna fight, and they have their own way of regulating, which is quite interesting, and I like it. You got fair play, man. They put up the money, bam, 10 grand against 10 grand, and basically, you gotta have as a family, you gotta have the dogs and the chickens and the lads to fulfill these fights. If you don't, your family will be over with. You have to leave the campsite. I don't know what happens to you. Interesting, right? Now, for me, you get into these terms. So travelers, traveling people, that's how you call them. But then, I would go around and talk about my lifestyle. I meet like random people in pubs all over UK. And they hear, oh, so what do you do? And this, oh, you're a boxer. Yeah, well, I do this, that. And they ask me where I've lived, and I've moved and lived all around in America. We leave with a one-way ticket, meet lads, gangs, people like hooligans or hardcore skinhead gangs. Or my whole life I've been doing this. I get a one-way ticket and I'm moving to go live with them. No plans on coming back. Eventually I come back, But as a result of me explaining that, people says, oh, you're a traveling man. And I was always quick to say, no. Because people, the way I talk English over there, people say, where are you from? They don't believe that I'm American when I start saying, I'm from America. They think I'm a traveler. People think I'm a traveler or a scouser. I've talked about them before. Maybe I'll talk about them again. So people called me a traveling man. And I was like, no, I'm not traveler. I'm not traveler boy, They said, no. And so what I've come to find out by asking these family members I'm friends with, basically, what's up with that? And they said, no, it's all right to call yourself a traveling man. Like, I'm a traveling man. I'm a fighting man. I've proven it. But I'm not part of the traveling community. I've never been to the campsite. I'm looking forward to one day being invited. And then it's like they even got some exotic training methods. They got this steep hill in Plymouth, and they got a pickup truck with a heavy bag welded to the back. And they go up the mountain. They got the old man back there. Come on, you can't. He's giving you, and you got to run up the damn mountain or the hill, punching the bag, which is held by the back of the pickup truck. It's like Shaolin Kung Fu. They got some exotic training methods and old masters. I want to go in there and study with them, if I would ever be accepted. And I'd like to get more into this, talk more about this culture. However, if it's not wanted, I'll leave it there. Respect the traveling people, respect the British gypsies. Hopefully one day I get to go to the campsite myself and experience the culture firsthand. Maybe we'll make a documentary.